Welcome to the winter wonderland that is Michigan. And we are here to see if Biggie's even gonna with this kind of weather. Might be a little too cold, but we're going to try to get the town car back out of storage so we can get it back over to the shop and start making some upgrades. So let's get after it. Alright, jump pack, engage. Oh, it's tight in here. Well, that answers that question. One jump pack ain't gonna do it. I didn't bring enough tools to actually take the battery out either. To be continued.
The next day.
And it's a new day. And we've got a fully charged bat tray. So I'm gonna get this hooked up and we're gonna see if we can make some smoke in the pipes. There we go. Don't mind the squeaky belt. Alternator's trying to catch up. There it goes. All better now. Guess who's away? Alright, now that we got the car at the shop, we can start to address a few things. First of which is going to be, I'm going to try to make heat. As you can see, blower motor blows into where the AC would be, and then I just put this block off plate there. Well, no air from here is getting into there. So I'm gonna repurpose some corrugated vacuum hose to allow air to pass through. But that is side project. We need to do a compression test on this thing to make sure it's healthy enough to even go through another season without being taken apart. So we're gonna get after it. I lied. We're gonna start with the heater stuff. So yeah, got the hood off, got the block off plate off, and you can now see how I didn't realize I was screwing myself out of heat when I put this in the first time is beyond me. Nevertheless, repurposed some old vacuum hose, and yeah, it don't look great, but I bet you I'm gonna have heat. I don't know if I'm gonna do both of the other ones or just do one more, but either way we're gonna do that, clean that up, and hit it with some paint and see if we can make heat. Painted, reinstalled with ducting for heaters, and I even got the blower motor resistor put into the block off plate instead of just tucked in the fender. So now, I'll go ahead and fire this thing up and see if it actually blows heat inside the car. Alright, what do you know? It's blowing heat. Neat. Alright, well, like I said, I wanted to do a compression test, but now that I did all that over there, the catch can needs to be relocated. I'm just going to keep bouncing from thing to thing, and we'll make a video out of it. Maybe. I don't know.
Later that same evening.
Well, that escalated pretty quickly. So I settled on changing the fender, but I'm sick of looking at this spaghetti mess. It doesn't need to be there. So I ripped the factory PCM out of the firewall that's been there for the past 3 years for no good reason. And now I am trimming the harness. This is going to take a minute.
Let's go.
Alright, well, it fits like crap. The gap getting tight and then wide and then tight again, but I ain't got no rust. That's the important part. So, started strapping up the trimmed up wiring harness inside the fender. I did not put the inner fender liner in yet because I've got all of these wires that I got to hook back up and whatnot. But it is officially quitting time. We're going to call it a night and come back to get this thing buttoned up tomorrow. Well, good morning. We got to get this thing buttoned back up because it's Sunday and it snowed and this can't be here in the morning. So I got to finish wrapping up the wiring. We've got a handful of need to hook them back up-ums. And then obviously our grounds, get the fuse boxes mounted back up. Get the inner wheel well liner in, and then we can get the cowl on and the hood and the bumper cover and the headlights. Just so that way we can inevitably take it all back off later on down the road. Yeah, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Who f***ing knows? I don't know. We got 4 months till the tracks start to open, so let's get it. Alright, so I realized that I started this video out saying we was gonna do a compression test after I started to make heat. And now we're putting a rust-free fender on and trimming wire. And I'd like to explain how we got here. So upon doing the heater bull crap, I had to remove the catch can. And after installing lower motor resistor on that side, I realized, there's there. The catch can can't go there no more. So I wanted to put it right here, which is where it is now. It's right here. Not plumbed, but it's there. But in order to put it there, I needed to cut some stuff out, and this fender needed to go on. So then the fender had to go on. So upon removing the fender was this spaghetti monster mess of wiring, which so far that's what we've gotten out of it, including the PCM. There's a whole milk crate full of it. And in the process of doing that, I was getting really willy-nilly with cutting plugs I didn't need off and cut one I do need off. This is for the wipers. We kind of need those. I'd like to keep those, I should say. Don't necessarily need them, they make Rain-X, but. So I'm gonna get this hooked back up, and then we continue. But yeah, you know, compression test is still on the list. It's just, we started with heat, and then that snowballed into 3 other unfinished projects. Which is typical. So, yeah, I'm gonna, yep, yep. Update time. So we got pretty much all the wiring buttoned up. It's way more uniform. Yes, there's still a lot, but at least it's all fluid now. And there's, I mean, I can actually see to the bottom there. I couldn't before. So next we're moving on to trying to wrap up the catch can. But I need, so, alright, let's explain. On this particular Amazonian catch can, there's an in and then there's an out. And then there's a filter port. I'm dumb and had one valve cover going to this one valve cover going to this one. So one wasn't even doing anything but just bypassing right pretty much to here, and that's a problem. So I need to have these two join up here and go 2 to 1, and then I can run it over to there. And I'm poor, so we're using rubber instead of fancy AN stuff. So on account of we're using rubber, I found this for $4.95, and there's a couple 3-ways in here, so I'm pretty sure I can make one of them work. That's where we're at. Ta-da! Bam! Done. Now I just gotta finish putting the rest of the front of the car on. Trying to get all that put back onto here. Like, bam! Time. Alright, well, yeah, see? All buttoned back up. So nice. Looks a little bit more tidied up over on the underside. So, now, I gotta pick up my mess, and then we gotta get this thing back over to storage.
Several days later.
Alright, so next on the chopping block is the ABS module, which means we're gonna have to run some new lines, but if you look closer, there's unions right there for both rears and the passenger front. So hopefully I can just run new lines to there. So let's see. Never in a million years would I have guessed that these would have come loose. But here we are. 2025. Taking 1999 brake hardware apart. Without it breaking. Yay! Nothing like dropping the impact right on the brand new fender. Gotta be careful with them too. They're from China. They were free. Don't give me shit. I think we're just gonna do this the easy way. Holy shit, that fucker's heavy. That don't need to be there no more. Ah, wow, look at all the room. Aw, shit, girl. Man, so much more room for activities. I could have done stuff way differently. Should have done this a long time ago. Alright, oh, glitchy camera. Look at that. Oh, we got new lines. I really am grateful for Lincoln putting unions down there from the factory, because I literally didn't have to leave this corner. And now there's no longer a useless ABS pump sitting there. Neat. Well, now that it's been a full last 2 weeks and we've managed to fix the heat and put a fender on and do a bunch of wiring stuff, we still have to do a compression test. So that's what we're gonna do right now. I just got to peel all these coils out, and then we'll start checking them one by one. Oh no, we got fucking water in there again. Gross. Probably from sitting out in the fucking snow. Bet you they all are like that. Yup. Every fucking one of them. Son of a biscuit eating bulldog.
What the French, Toast?
Alright, it took me a minute to get her cranking, but here's the first hole between 125 and 150. Hammer out the rest of them. Alright, so I actually cranked on that one twice, and it landed somewhere in between 125 and 150 with my super cheap ATD compression tester. So we're just kind of looking for a range, and hopefully they're all within the same. Keeping in mind we went pretty wide on the piston ring gap when we initially put this together in anticipation of me not having self-control and wanting to go above 22 pounds of boost. So yeah, hopefully they all match. Another thing we're doing, two birds, one stone, is I'm readjusting the spark plug gap from when we tightened the gap up chasing that misfire under boost tail end of last year. Some of you may remember. If you don't, you should go check that video out. Just saying. Anywho, let's see what this one's reading. That one's closer to 125. Keep in mind too, we are doing what you classify as a cold compression test. I did run it a little bit to get it onto the hoist from the flat stall that it was in, but it barely got over 100 degrees. And by the time I got the coils out on this side and blew the water out and all that jazz, there ain't no heat in here. None. So this is a cold test. Next. Pretty consistent with the 125s. Last one on the driver's side bank. Then we can talk about how we're not going to make a couple events and how we are going to make one particular large event this year, provided this continues to look promising. One more again! Can you guess? Another 125. So this whole bank is exactly the same. I'll take it. Next bank. All right. 125 across the board. With that being said, again, this is a very, very cheap compression tester. I normally use a buddy of mine's, don't know where he's got it in his toolbox. But essentially I was looking for any big variations between any of them. because the last time this thing was out, it went its personal fastest quarter mile at 11:17 at 123 on about 17, 18 pounds of boost. So I think it's safe to say we are green light to proceed with 2025 race season. All right, so let's talk about it. 2025 race season. This year is going to be a little different than last year on account of we're not going to be able to go to as many events. Sadly, one of the ones we're not going to make is the OG Drop the Hammer Drag and Drive in May. That was our first drag and drive we've ever done with the car, and we had a blast. Unfortunately, it happens to fall the weekend right before we're supposed to go to Wisconsin Dells for a family trip. So we're not going to be able to make that one. But Tom Bailey, in all of his glory, has put on a week-long 8th mile drag and drive right here in our home state of Michigan, August 10th through the 17th. 7 days of racing, ending at Woodward and Dream Cruise and Detroit. We filled out an expression of interest form, and we were selected for early registration. And as of yesterday at 9 a.m., we're registered. With that being said, we are still chasing our personal goal of running a 10-second quarter mile in this. And obviously that's not something we're going to achieve running an 8th mile drag and drive. But I wanted to do Sick Week since it became a thing. Unfortunately, I don't necessarily have the means or funds to hightail it to Florida from Michigan in January, which is inevitably work slow season. So the money's just not there and we can't make it happen. But this will be a good get our feet wet for the 7-day drag and drive. What are we going to do to prepare for it, you might be asking? Excellent question. We don't have a whole lot planned this year. Tail end of last year I was talking about possibly putting cams in this, but keeping in mind that we ended up putting a set of bearings in this last year without replacing the crank, I don't think squeezing this thing for more power without actually replacing the factory crank is smart. But we already know we got the mile an hour to be running at 10. We're trapping between 123 and 124. We should be running 10s. So we're going to start this year out with a converter change. Right now we are rocking a 3000 stall triple disc from FTI with lockup. We are going to get one of their 9-inch 35 or 3800, not sure yet. Essentially same. Triple disc with lockup, just a higher stall RPM. Reason for is we need to get this thing up out of the hole a little quicker. And I'm not putting a trans brake in this 4R70. It's been good to me. I don't want it to not be good to me. So, converter change, new slicks. We're going to get some fuel cell foam to try to prevent the anti-sloshy, along with a handful of other small things that need to be dealt with, but we've got until August. But I would like to get the converter in and get out and go testing and potentially see if we can achieve our goal of running a 10 prior to August. Just listen to it. Smooth as butter. Regapping the plugs. Got rid of the pit. Should idle and smooth as can be. stuff.